Number one cause of death? Birth. 100% fatality rate. Everyone who has ever been born is dying. We are all going to die.
The number one cause of death is birth. If you don't bring children into this world, they're not going to die. That is 100% truth. It's Benedictines, guys. Today I'm going to be reacting to the videos that I've liked on TikTok from Antinatalist. Let's go.
I think that the decision to reproduce is a much more morally consequential decision than it's often made out to be. In our society, we sort of treat it like the default. As soon as you get married, people start asking you when you're going to have children.
They don't ask you if you're going to have children. They ask you when you're going to have children.
And people are often pressured to have children if they haven't done it yet, and even sort of criticized and ostracized if they decide they don't want to have children.
Yeah. Now, people get criticized for not wanting to have children as if they're doing something wrong, you know. They can say, well, I don't want to have children because I don't have enough money to take care of another person. And people will act like they are crazy.
So I think a lot of people just have kids because they think that's what they're supposed to do. And they don't really think about whether it's something that they actually want or are prepared for. Other people, I think, underestimate the consequences of it. I mean, to be real.
Listen, you bring a sentient being into this world. They get to face the challenges that humans face in this world. All the things that you think are wrong are happening to people because they were brought into this world. If their parents didn't have them, they wouldn't go through these things. People think that having children is like having a toy and playing with it. Like, we're talking about conscious beings. Yeah, we're not just talking about toys. We're not talking about dolls.
Realistic, in that situation, you're creating a sentient human being. That has a lot of responsibility attached to it. Humans have a high propensity to suffer and to make others suffer, and when you introduce a new human in the world, there's a high likelihood you're going to introduce a net increase in suffering. And so I think people really should think much more critically about it than we tend.
Why on earth would I want to have kids? I mean,
very good question. You know, that's the question that each and every person should ask themselves.
not figuratively and literally. Bringing a new life into a dying planet seems like cruel and unusual punishment. No one consents to being born, especially in a hostile world like this. I mean, not.
And we treat people as if they consented to being born, as if they wanted to be here, as if they asked to be here. Especially if things ain't working out for them. Like, hey, if things are not working out for you, you must work harder. You must do this, you must do that. Hey, they ain't asked to be here, man. Don't treat them as if they asked to be here, you know?
To be dramatic or anything, but a kid born today is going to see the worst effects of climate change and all of the environmental and human civilization.
This reminds me of what Eric Cartman said in one of South Park episodes. It's like, children are being brought into a world that's broken and sick. We ain't the ones who messed this planet up, but we are the ones who will pay the price.
Collapse that comes along with it. And you tell me, in the comments, what more can an individual do to slow down the effects of climate change other than not have any more resource-sucking children? In a less existential manner of thinking, having kids is also completely unaffordable right now.
Dude, kids are expensive. Kids are really, really expensive, you know, unless you're not going to take care of their needs, you know, because there are some parents who just buy whatever they can buy for their kids, you know what I mean? Like, they're not going to buy what their kids really need. So yeah, you know, raising them won't really be that expensive, but if you're going to buy what they really need, that's going to be expensive. There's a reason why lots of adults are traumatized, you know, it's because they weren't raised right. If you're really going to take care of your kid the way that they need to be taken care of, that's going to be really expensive.
Everyone I know with kids, even if both parents have good jobs, are nearly broke and incredibly stressed out all the time. And they're not just stressed out because they can't afford their kids, they're also terrified to send their kids to school because they might get shot while trying to get an education.
True, but not only that, I mean, there are a lot of things that can happen, you know, accidents, you know, your child can get into a fight and, you know, get seriously hurt, you know, your child can get sick, that can happen. I have a nephew. Whenever he's playing outside and I see him playing with, like, using a tool that's like dangerous, I become very concerned. So I ask myself, if I had children, wouldn't I always be feeling like scared? You know, what if, you know, my child, you know, had themselves, you know, like, I think people don't really think about that. You know, they just have children and then they deal with the consequences later, and, you know, it stresses them out.
This is a totally real yet morally outrageous thing to worry about if you raise your kids in the USA. The world is not exactly kid-friendly in general right now. Is it really a good time right now to bring another human into this Minority Report, Blade Runner, late capitalist dystopia where AI...
Remember, we're competing for survival, and that is the truth. You know, no matter what people tell you, we are competing for survival. That's the reason why parents send their kids to school. And competition starts when they are young. That shit is traumatizing, bro. You know, they compete from when they are young and then continue to compete, until they die. It's not like we live in a world where we love one another, you know, and we're helping one another. No, we live in a world where we are competing with one another. And that makes life totally meaningless, because it's not like we consented to being born into this world where we'll have to compete for survival. It's not like deciding to join the Olympics, you know. You would have decided to join the Olympics. But imagine if life itself was the Olympics, you know. You don't consent to actually competing in the Olympics. You just find yourself competing, you know what I mean? Like, that's wrong on so many levels.
AI is about to take over everything. Welcome to the world, little Johnny. You're just in time for World War III and Skynet. And I'll just be completely honest about the fact that I love having time to myself to do the things that I like to do. I love peace and quiet. I thrive in the peace and the quiet. I love playing video games until late at night and then sleeping in until late in the morning. I love being able to travel anywhere and everywhere all at once.
I don't know how many times I've had parents complaining, saying that they don't have time to themselves. They can't even travel. They can't even pursue their goals because they have children. They can't even sleep because they have children. Be like, well, why did you have them in the first place? Who told you to have children? Were you forced? Or you made a choice to have children? I mean, I do understand that most people don't even make a choice to have children. It's not like, you know, people really ask themselves if having children is really, you know, the right thing to do. You know, they're just looking at what other people are doing and try to do the same thing, you know, because we're social creatures and we don't really know what we're doing. So we'd rather copy what other people are doing instead of thinking for ourselves and deciding what is really best for us.
Once. Is it possible to travel with a baby? Absolutely. Parents do it all the time. But I'm not ready to be that parent on the plane whose screaming baby is keeping everyone awake at night and stealing their peace.
Dude, I've always hated it when someone's child steals my peace, you know? Be chilling in a taxi and someone's child starts playing with you and the mother doesn't do anything about it. You're like, what the fuck? Like, I remember this other day, I was going to another town. This kid is eating yogurt, right? The kid is eating yogurt with his hands and then start touching me. I was like, what, you know, like I was really angry, dude. And, you know, one thing that I've realized about parents is that they think everyone loves their kid, you know? Like everyone is cool with kids playing with them. Like, no, I'm thinking, yeah, I don't want to be disturbed. I don't want to play with your kid, you know. And what's funny is that kids seem to like me. Like, for real, kids seem to like me. Like, they stare at me. It's actually weird. I mean, yeah, I'll be wearing glasses. Maybe they're fascinated with glasses. Who knows? But it's crazy how they'll stare at me. I mean, they'll stare at me like this. And their mothers will look at them like, "What's going on? What are you looking at?" It's crazy. I don't know if I just look too weird. I don't know, but they stare at me. It really doesn't make any sense.
I'm just being dramatic, but I love being impulsive and random and free. I love being able to be intimate and satisfy myself whenever I feel like it without having to lock the door or wait until the gremlin is asleep. I can be honest with myself about who I am and what I want. And strangely, I've heard that it is selfish to not want to have kids. But how is it selfish to not want to bring new life into this world for the express purpose of having something love you unconditionally? Or creating a legacy for yourself in some narcissistic ploy to make yourself immortal. Despite all of...
Having children is always selfish because no one has children for selfless reasons. You see? It's not like you think that your children are suffering where they are and you're like, okay, let me bring them here. Nope. You're bringing children into this world because you want to have children. It's not because you want to save them. It's all about what you want. You don't ask yourself if you really will be able to take care of them the way that they need to be taken care of. No, it's just about what you want. You figure things out. That's what you tell yourself. Like, nah, things are going to work out. God is going to provide whatever, and then you have children.
Of the factors that I just mentioned. I know there are tons of parents out there who had kids for the right reasons. I know a lot of parents believe that we must raise a new generation to fight back against injustice. Fair point.
Nah, parents don't really think like that. They don't think, well, let me have children so that they'll fight against injustice. No, that's not what they be thinking. They have children because they want children. Otherwise, they'll just adopt. Be like, okay, the world sucks right now. Let me not bring a new life into this world. Since the kids that do not have parents, fine, I'll just adopt and raise them to fight against injustice. You see?
There are parents out there putting in A+ efforts for their kids, feeding them real food diets, nurturing their brains, and training their intellect. But let's be real. These parents are the minority, and I'm not trying to bring my beautiful baby around those parents who think it's cute to bribe my kid with ice cream covered stuffed crust pizza. Now, I think I would be one of the good moms. I think I would be an exceptional mother.
I believe that. If you think like that, of course, if you're going to have a child, you'll be a good mom, 100%.
But I'm also a great auntie. And the glory about being a great auntie is that once I'm done hanging out with the kid and hopefully rubbing off some of my awesomeness onto them, I get to give them back to their parents and then get back to living my badass life.
I think that the term antinatalism scares a lot of people, which is
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Understandable. You hear that people are against birth and you're like, that's fucking weird. Why would you be that way? I think the thing to understand is that antinatalists are not against birth on a personal level. We're not knocking on the doors of every English teacher and telling them to stop getting pregnant or whatever. Rather, I view antinatalism as a stance against measures taken by the systems in place that artificially inflate population growth. And obviously there's the angle of it's cruel to bring someone into this world when you know that they're going to suffer horrible effects of, say, climate change.
Which is actually the best angle, Bringing someone into this world knowing them well they're going to suffer is wrong.
But even excluding that, there is the fact that we have established a link between material conditions and the birth rate. The more material wealth, gender equality, and access to sex education and contraceptives increase, the birth rate decreases. That's a completely neutral observation. Any pronatalist action must counter this progress. I think that the term antinatalism scares a lot of people.
I was crying to my friends last night and I was honestly, I would say that I had a fucked up childhood, but literally every single person has a fucked up childhood. I feel like...
That's 100% true. Because it's not like parents really know what they're doing. You know what I've been? Firstborns actually have it the worst because the parents are still immature, so they'll make a lot of mistakes. But yeah, in general, parents don't know what the heck they're doing, so they do not treat their children the way that they need to be treated. You see, so that's why everyone had a fucked up childhood.
Part of the condition of being a child is literally just being traumatized. Like, adults traumatize their children. And
they don't seem to even like notice that that's what they're doing, you know. Like, adults really do traumatize their children. Because children are smart, you know, because they think rationally. Because they haven't been, brainwashed yet. So they think a way that a human being should think. But as a parent, you're like, no, that's not how you think, you know. In this world, that's not how, a person should think. This is how you should think. And then they start to traumatize them until they start complying.
So fucked up, and we never talk about it. Like, childism is a huge issue in America. We do not see children as autonomous. It's a huge issue all around the world, but we just don't see children as like autonomous beings who are worthy of like respect. From the moment you're born, your boundaries are just violated. I mean, think about things like circumcision. Like, there's no real utility for circumcision in the Western world. Like, why in America are we the only country that circumcises? Literally because companies get money off of it. Like, from the moment you are a child, you are being exploited for profit. Your circumcision was literally an exploitation for profit. But
yeah, for real. Especially considering the fact that a person can get circumcised at any time, you know. It's not like if children don't get circumcised when they're young, they'll never get circumcised when they are old, when they actually can consent, you know. A person who's like 30 years old can get circumcised. A person who's like 18 years old can get circumcised. A person who's 50 years old can get circumcised, you know. So why circumcise children when they can't even consent? What if they say, well, I didn't want to be circumcised. Why did you get me circumcised? What are you going to say as a parent? Like, that's wrong on so many levels, and there ain't enough people talking about this. And who told us that we should circumcise children? Like, who? Who says that it's best for a penis to be circumcised? Like, who made us believe that?
by the hospitals. Hospitals will assign random fucking surgeries to people for no fucking reason. Just because they can make a profit off of it. That is why we use circumcision in America, because of capitalism. And it's kind of like a weird example to think about because, we never really think about it in that way. But it kind of is a serious issue. I mean, the fact that hospitals are doing these surgeries unnecessarily on children that cannot consent to these surgeries, like literal babies, is fucked up. And just the way we treat children as if there's some type of enemy, there's some type of burden, there's some type of thing holding parents back. This ultimately stems from people like not giving the choice of parenthood. It seems like parenthood is a default. By the way, guys, you don't need to be a parent if you don't want to be. It should not be a default.
100%.
Being in a heteronormative relationship, being in a nuclear family should not be the default. That's not normal. I think the problem with kids is a lot of people have kids and they don't know how to care for them because another thing we don't do in this country is we do not teach people how to take care of kids. Like, kids are they're hard to raise. It's literally so hard to raise a kid. And I feel like a lot of people just are not qualified enough to be parents, and they're not qualified enough because they're not really depending on their community. They're not really depending on their elders who have raised kids. And the other thing is, like, some people have kids that just...
True. A lot of people who have kids ain't even qualified to raise kids. They don't know what the heck they're doing. They don't even understand how their kids think. Like, they understand nothing, really. So they traumatize their children because they don't really know how to raise them. A human is a very complex creature. You've got to really be intelligent to raise a complex creature like a human. Because if you don't raise it right, you're going to fuck it up for life.
Should not be having kids. Like, some people just are not capable of having kids. They have like serious mental issues they need to like work through. They have to do some healing before they had kids. And then the other thing is, like, people will have kids who don't want kids. Like, people just believe it's a default, it's a norm, so they have to have kids, and they have kids, and it just turns out terribly for the kid, it turns out terribly for them. Everyone's soft.
Yeah, people gotta heal, you know. There's a lot of people that are traumatized. You can't have a child when you have not healed. A lot of children are trying to heal from the trauma that were caused by their parents. You must heal so that your children won't have to heal from having you as a parent. You know what I mean? Because that sucks. Like, had people had more people, it becomes like a vicious cycle.
You know, no one benefits. I mean, the only people who benefit really from this natalist culture that we have are the higher ups, the capitalists, because they benefit from a huge workforce of very, very damaged, unhealthy people.
That's what I've been saying. That parents don't really benefit from having children. Children don't really benefit from being born. It's the people who have power. These are the people that really benefit. Because we live in a world where it's okay to be a slave. And we've given people who have power more power now. We've made it okay to work a shitty job and not be given enough money. Like, that's normal. We even encourage people to work shitty jobs. Like, as long as you have a job, as long as you have an income, it's okay. It doesn't matter if you don't like your job, things are going to work out in the end. You're going to find the kind of job that you want. Like, no. Don't make it okay to be a slave. We're supposed to be good. We're supposed to work the jobs that we actually like. Jobs that are going to fulfill us, not to work shitty jobs because we're just trying to survive because some people brought us into a world that is too fucking fucked up. You see?
Who are willing to do anything for validation. I mean, they really benefit from this. They benefit from our struggles from the time we're born.
They do.
I mean, it's ultimately just leads back to capitalism. And that's just the way how pervasive capitalism is in our society. Like, it's such a problem, and I don't understand why people can't recognize that.
Yeah. Doesn't make sense.
If you did not know, I am an antinatalist, and people give me a lot of negativity about that, but today I wanted to talk about why I don't think having kids is a personal choice. I know society makes us all think that having kids is a personal choice, and a lot of people believe it. I used to believe it too when I was a sheep following the herd of society. But
I like the fact that she says she used to believe that when she was a sheep.
When you wake up, you realize it can never be a personal choice because there's someone else involved. There's another
100%.
life involved. Another child who did not consent to being brought into the world.
Exactly. It's not just about you. It's also about the child, and the child is going to suffer more. That's the thing. The child is actually going to deal with life because you brought them here. Remember, when you have a child, you're already like old, right? You're already people are able to have children when they're like 13, 14, whatever. But you're already old. Your child is going to start from day one without a bit. So their child is going to deal with a lot. That's what you must understand.
I would not have consented to being brought into the world. I'm a little bit mad, actually, that I was born. I get mad about it a lot. But yeah.
Yeah, we should actually be mad that we're brought into a world that doesn't make any sense, because parents need to, look at what's going on in the world first before they have children. They don't just decide to have children because they've been brainwashed. We need to think for ourselves. You gotta have a strong mind. No matter what people tell you, your mind has to be so strong that you're actually able to make the right decisions that you'll be able to explain. That is why I'm able to make videos about antinatalism each and every day. That's because I'm able to explain my position. If I had children, I wouldn't be able to make videos every day justifying why I had children, because I would have been indoctrinated to have children. It's not like it would really be my choice, It's not like it will be something that I've thought about. No.
there's no way it can be a personal choice because there's so many other factors that go into it. I mean, it involves the environment, it involves other people, it involves that child specifically. It's not just like a personal thing, you know? It doesn't just affect you. If you did...
I think fewer people need to have kids. First of all, unfortunately, there's a ton of parents who really should not be parents, and those children suffer for the rest of their life. Second of all, family is not just flesh and blood, and there are so many children out there that need families, and so that should be the first option. The world
Exactly. I like what you said. There are many children who actually need to be raised by a family, so we must prioritize them. We must prioritize existing life. That's what the people from the Stop Having Kids organization usually say. Let's prioritize existing life. Let's see if this can really work. You see, by prioritizing existing life, can we make this actually work? Can we make it justifiable to actually bring children into this world based on what we are seeing now? Because if we prioritize existing life and we say that, okay, now people are actually doing good, but like, no, actually, yeah, let's keep on having children because this is working. And it seems like the future is bright. It seems like things are going to work out. But when you look around you and see that there are many children that are suffering just because they were born, you know, they don't have homes, you know, they're really, really struggling. No one really loves them. They don't know what it's like to be raised by a family, stuff like that. You're like, damn, I know where I'm going to bring my child into this. Because if I die, that child is going to suffer. It's not like there'll be people that'll be waiting to take care of that child, you know. So why should I bring a child into this world? I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, you know. I might feel healthy today, but what if I get sick after knocking somebody up? Who knows, you know.
It's already ridiculously overpopulated. Like, it would be great if we could slow down the birth rate. Of course, this is something that should not be legally regulated in most circumstances. Causes a lot of issues with human rights. And this is a huge reason why I am for safe and legal abortions. Is because if somebody doesn't want to put a kid into the world, they shouldn't be forced to. And don't
imagine say, oh, you are killing a person when you're born. Also look at the kind of world that they will be born into, you know, because you'll be bringing someone to hell, you know. You must also look at it from that perspective. Don't just say, oh, you're killing a person, whatever, as if this is paradise. No, this life is hard, man. People really do go through a lot in this world, you know.
Get me started on the pro-life BS argument that you just shouldn't have sex then. Birth control fails, condoms fail. What are you going to tell married couples that don't want to have children? To stay celibate? Huh? Are you really going to do that? To summarize, overpopulation is an issue we need to deal with. Children already born into this world need to be taken care of, and nobody should be forced to bear a child that they do not want.
100%.
I think fewer people need to have kids. First of
Oh my god, oh my god. Why did you do that? Oh my god, oh my god.
Why is living life, like, so fucking hard?
First, I want to say...
That's a good question though. Why is it so fucking, like, why is life hard? Why shouldn't it be easy? If suffering builds character, shouldn't we actually be able to choose our own suffering? Not actually suffer to survive, but actually choose, okay, this is what I want to do to suffer so that I'll improve my... Just like when people work out, you know, people don't work out because they have to work out. I mean, some do because of health issues, but it will be good to choose your own suffering. Say, okay, you know, I wanna work out because I want to be physically strong and I want to join the Olympics. You know, that would be good. I want to join the strongman competition. That would be good. I want to be a wrestler. That would be good. I want to be a boxer. I want to be an MMA fighter. That would be good. But surviving in this world mustn't be hard because no one asked for this shit.
I really empathize with this creator because life is very difficult, and that's very much on purpose. Capitalism has designed a system where in order to make your life better, you have to go into the labor force, which gives companies and industries an endless supply of workers. And knowing all that, knowing all this has been an important part of my journey towards being child-free. And throughout this journey, I have...
Exactly. Knowing the truth will allow you to make the right decisions.
Stumbled across antinatalism as a philosophy. I'm not fully an antinatalist, but there are some things from that community that I do sympathize with.
Now I get it, but you do think for yourself, which is something that is really, really important. You do understand what is going on, which is something that is really, really important. And because you understand what is going on, you have made a decision to not bring more people here.
The biggest one being that the only guarantee in this life is suffering. You're not promised happiness, wealth, joy, none of it. But you are promised suffering, and you're promised an eventual death. So why make a soul conscious just for it to return to that void? Especially if that conscious life will be full of pain. If that child isn't even consenting.
Why is living life like...
Number one cause of death? Birth. 100% fatality rate.
Favorite.
Everyone who has ever been born is dying. We are all going to die.
Dude, I love this lady, bro. Like, this should trend. This should trend. Like 3,599 likes. This should trend, you know. This should trend. The comments are, we're born to die. True. This is exactly how my... What is this word? Hypochondria works. What does hypochondria mean? Because I've heard this word before, hypochondria. I've heard this word before. Now, on Activin. What's hypochondria? It's like pills. No, we got to study this 100%. We got to study this. So abortion is medicine. Dude, this is the reason I'm not having kids. Yeah. I love the truth, guys. I love the truth. I love people who speak the truth. The truth is important. Let me play this again. I love this.
Number one cause of death? Birth. 100% fatality rate. Everyone who has ever been born is dying. We are all going to die. Number one cause of death? Birth. 100% fatality rate. Everyone who has ever been born is dying. We are all going to die.
Having a child is selfish. Starting a family, selfish.
That's the truth.
Why? Why did you have a baby? You wanted to be a parent? You wanted to start a family? You wanted to carry on the family legacy? What was your reason? Whatever it was, I'm almost willing to bet that it was absolutely freaking selfish. There are a myriad of reasons why people have children, but I've yet to hear anyone say that they simply had children because they felt that they were in a position to be able to facilitate the growth of that person into the person that they were meant to be. Which really, that's our only job as a parent.
I've seen a couple of videos from the Social Experimentalist YouTube channel where they go out and ask people why they are children. I've never heard anyone actually come up with a good reason. I've never heard anyone actually come up with a good reason. And that's strange. Because everyone is having children, at least they gotta have a good reason. Gotta have a good reason to actually bring a sentient being into this world.
To facilitate the growth of a person for who they're meant to be. So many times it's
exactly for who they are meant to be. Not to force them to be what you want them to be. Not to turn them into a slave. You raise them to be what they are meant to be. And if they're not what you want them to be, that's fine. Because they are being who they were meant to be, isn't it? Because parents feel like it's okay to force their children to be what they want them to be. No, that's wrong on so many levels. You literally abusing your children.
As parents, we have all these expectations of these children because we think that they're extensions of us. We think that they're vicariously us. All the dreams we didn't get to live out, they get to. We want them to carry on the family name, whatever it may be. There are so many people on this planet that do not want to be here. They're brought into this world because some...
Exactly. There are many people who are in this world that do not want to be here, 100%. Now, that's something that people do not want to talk about, but it's true. It's the truth. You know, there are many people reach out to me and tell me, yo. But, you know, like if you go on Facebook and actually type the word sewer, whatever, check the comments on the posts about that, you'll see that there are a lot of people who don't actually want to be here for real. You will see that there are people who don't want to be here for real. That is why I keep on saying that life is not a gift, life is a burden. And that is the truth.
Somebody wanted to start a family. Somebody wanted the aesthetic, but then the aesthetic might not have worked. Maybe they got a divorce. Or maybe somebody just wanted somebody to unconditionally love them, but that's not how a parent-children relationship works. When you plant flowers in your yard, right? You nurture the tulip to become a tulip. Whatever instructions come for a tulip to become a tulip, that's what you follow. There are no instructions when it comes to having kids. So you get a mixed bag of seeds, you don't know what's gonna blossom.
True.
So if this flower starts to bloom and it's looking very much like a sunflower, but you thought it was gonna be a tulip and you really wanted tulips. Tulips makes you happy. But are you gonna stand there and yell at the sunflower every day and tell it to be more like a tulip?
I mean, that would be madness.
No, you're gonna let it be a sunflower. Our babies deserve so much better than what we give.
100%. They really deserve so much better, man. Sometimes I feel like crying when I see a child suffering because their parents did not think. They don't have money to buy them the things that they want, to buy them toys, to buy them food, buy them clothes. But like, this is immoral, bro. This is wrong on so many levels. We're talking about a sentient being with needs, bro. A sentient being that can suffer, that can feel pain, and they go through hell because motherfuckers do not think. That's scary when you really think about it. Because we are the ones that are bringing people to hell. It's not God. It's us. Isn't it? Isn't it us? You can say we don't have free will, but I mean, hey, we've suffered, we've seen a lot of fucked up shit going on. We should be able to make the right choices, you know?
Hell, half of us don't even have kids because it was planned. A lot of us just, oops, here's a baby. And then we think we're doing some righteous act because we raise it into adulthood. So what?
True. You know, people think they're doing something good because they're raising children. God is going to reward them for raising children.
Having a child is selfish. Starting a family
makes no sense.
Do you think it's ethical to purchase animals knowing you cannot commit to caring for them for their entire lives?
Do you think it's ethical to have children knowing you can't commit to caring for them for their entire lives?
That's a good question, actually. Because most parents think that they are only supposed to take care of their children until they're like 18 or until they're 21. No, actually, if you bring someone into this world, you gotta, be there for them until they die. Unless they don't need you, of course. But if they need you, you have to be there for them because you're the one that brought them here. You knew the risks. It's not like you didn't know the risks. You knew the risks and you were the one that made the choice to bring them here. They ain't the ones that made the choice to be here. That's what you must get. And that is very important to understand.
The answer is no. No to both.
Do you think it's ethical to purchase animals knowing you cannot commit to caring for them?
If you're a parent, scroll ahead. This is not about you. But you gotta be some special kind of delusional to think you can protect a child in this world. From exploitation, from anti-trans hatred, from environmental degradation. Meanwhile, all of my children are chilling in the void, never experiencing an ounce of pain ever.
Benedictines Jr. chilling in the void, man. Can only imagine if I had a child. Child would be suffering, be thinking about the child each and every day, Like, damn, why did I bring you here? What was I thinking? I was still young. I didn't know how fucked up things were in this world. I'm really, really sorry. But now I'm good, Benedictines Jr. is chilling in the void, you know what I mean? Like, it's all good,
That was my gift to them and one of my greatest accomplishments on this earth.
100%.
You're welcome.
100%. 100-ish. You're welcome, babies. No, 100%. You know, if you're an internatalist, you've made the best decision that a human being can make. Like, that's literally the best decision that a person can. Look, if you've made that decision, that's it. You don't even have to do anything else. You're good. You know, you've made the right decision. You came into this world and realized how fucked up it was, and realized that it was wrong to bring people into. I mean, even though people are saying, "Oh no, everyone must have children," but like you were able to realize something that was actually supposed to be impossible for you to realize. That's why animals don't realize that shit. But you're conscious.
Welcome, babies. If you're a parent, scroll ahead.
I am an antinatalist. As you can see it over here.
Dude, I like this.
It means I am against reproduction, like having a baby. And I honestly do not understand why this isn't a thing yet.
Yeah.
It's the most ethical and rational thoughts you can have. I am
100%. It's the most ethical and rational thought you can have. But, you know, people ain't talking about it. That's what I'm saying. Antinatalism should be taught in school. So children will grow up thinking. So that when they go through some fucked up shit that does not make sense, they will know who to blame. It's also important, you know. Let's not tell ourselves lies, you know. The truth is important.
an antinatalist.
What if I told you that the most unethical thing you could do is have children? Well, maybe not, but there is a philosophical justification for why our generation are increasingly choosing not to have kids. And the philosophical theory is called antinatalism, or the idea that it's inherently unethical to have kids. The reasoning behind this theory is pretty simple. When you're in the womb, you cannot consent to being born.
100%.
And you cannot consent to being brought into a world, especially that is now facing...
Not only do you not consent to being born, you do not choose your parents, you do not choose your race, you do not choose your height, you do not choose your looks, you do not choose your financial situation, you do not choose your IQ. You know what I mean? You just gotta work with what you have. I mean, think about it. If children were able to choose where they're going to be born, who's going to be their parent, how the parents going to be doing financially, blah, blah, blah. Do you think there will be that many people who have children? Many people wouldn't have children because, you know, they wouldn't choose them. Now, the same way that, you know, women be choosing guys with money, you know, is how it works. You know, they want their lives to be easy. They don't want their lives to be hard. So many people wouldn't be parents. But hey, any idiot out there can have a baby. So, you know, that's why we have many people who are actually suffering. Many people who are working shitty jobs. That's because any idiot out there can have a baby.
You know, genocide, climate change, discrimination. You can't choose the family you're born into. You can't choose the body you're born into. You can't choose the socio and economic issues that you might face just through the family that you were born into and the place you were born into. You can't choose any of that. 99% of your struggles in your life are going to be determined by how and where and when you were born.
True. No, I haven't really thought about what you're saying, but that's 100%, like that's 1,000% true. 99% of your problems in life are gonna be determined by where you were born, the kind of family that you grew up in, money, you know, do your parents have money, you know, the environmental factors, you know, your looks, like things that you have no control over, things, you know, things that you just had to deal with after being born. Things it like how your life is going to be won't have a lot to do with the decisions that you want to make or what you want to do in your life, you know, what you want to accomplish in life. It will have a lot to do with, you know, factors that you have no control over.
And your parents decide all of that for you. Our generation are increasingly realizing...
No, they don't even decide, you know. They don't even decide it. Let me go back to the video, my favorite video.
If you're a parent...
Do you think it's ethical to...
Having a child
is this one.
Number one cause of death, birth. 100% fatality rate. Everyone who has ever been born is dying. We are all going to die.
And I'm going to leave you all with that. Thank you all, guys.